All right, so this is the Infant Optics DXR-8 infant cam and baby monitor. And that's the monitor, and that's the cam. So I've seen on the internet where, a few people have had issues with the infrared lights, which are all of these little bulbs that go, circumferentially around the lens. There are a few people, and it happened to us, where the infrared bulbs actually burned out, or there was some electrical issue with those bulbs. And so when I turn the lights off, now this is in color on our monitor, it just shows black. And let me demonstrate that real quick for you. This is in the complete dark, and you can see, there's a little bit of light reflecting off me, but this is not, the normal view that it should be if those infrared bulbs are working. So I want to show you how to check to see, is it the sensor in there that's broke, or is it the actual bulbs themselves? Because if the sensor's not broke and it's just that you've burned out the bulbs, I want to show you how to fix that. And simple, quick fix instead of having to purchase a brand new one of these cams, because they are very expensive. Let me show you that quick fix. So the easiest way that I figured out to know if your infrared bulbs have burned out on your monitor is if you have any type of other, IR or infrared emitter. Old school, remotes kind of have these. Some of them work off of Wi-Fi now. But if you've got, any type of remote with that little bulb on the front, you can use this to check to see if your sensor for your IR processor in your camera is still working. So let me shut the lights off and I'll show you what I mean. So by shutting the lights off and turning the monitor back on, you can kind of see, I'm still there in the monitor, but when I hit the power button on my remote, you see that flash of light that's happening on the monitor? That means if I point it to me, it means that it's emitting a infrared light onto me. And so I've just got, the button turned on, and you can see the light itself blinking. And so that's one way I figured out that the bulbs on this monitor had actually burned out. So the quick fix for me was to go onto Amazon and to see if I could find a infrared light. And this one, and I'll post the link for this in the description, is what I came across, and it's what we use in the baby's room now to essentially emit light onto the crib at night so that we can, make sure that the baby's okay. But I think total, I probably spent about $25 on this versus paying $100 to $150 for a new camera. So this, to me, was a quick, cheaper fix, was to buy this light. And then for this light, it needs a power source, and so you have to go and get, a DC converter that plugs right into the cable itself, just like that. Because I think these lights are meant primarily for like short circuit cameras that you might have on the outside of your house that might be security cameras. But it's got some mounting fixtures on the back for if you wanted to mount it underneath a camera. But what we do is we just typically point it right up, to the crib like that, and it gives us plenty of light to make sure that, baby is okay and that she's safe and she hadn't rolled over and put herself in a bad position. So I hope this helps. I've seen where people get frustrated with these cameras and they end up throwing them away or getting rid of them. but they're typically not bad. It's a great camera, but their quality control on these little infrared lights is not the greatest. And so this is my quick fix. You may decide for yourself that you don't want another light source in your crib. This one isn't bad. It has a little slight red dim to it, but the baby doesn't really notice it at all being there. So and I guess I'll demonstrate what that light looks like on the crib itself and how the camera interprets that light. So this is our camera setup. It's mounted to the wall, and there's no way to make that, that cable, pretty, especially when the crib is in a cubby. We just don't want the baby looking at it or trying to grab for it. So we got the light source on the floor, the camera up there, and then this is what the baby monitor is showing. So when the infrared light is shown underneath the bed, this is the kind of illumination that we get on the night light. When I remove it, this is what happens. It goes completely dark. So I highly suggest, getting an external source if you really want to have a good visual of your baby in a dark room. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm pretty quick at answering those questions. And then two, just a reminder, I will put the links for the AC/DC adapter and the light itself, a link to the Amazon where you could purchase those if you want, if you find that it's helpful for your situation. All right,